YouTube. We are going to have a special one today because today, for the first time, I'm actually trying to go live with another individual. If you guys are aware, I host a weekly IG Live series on Instagram, and here she is. She's joining in right now. Let me see. It's the first time I'm trying this, so let's see if this actually works. Hey, what's going on, Megan? Long
Hi.
time no see.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, 2 times 1 day? Okay.
Yeah, I am such a newbie at this. I'm like, okay, I clicked on the link and then it brought me to this, and don't mind, I got like the other video going on, so now it's also fully live. I'm gonna be able to chat with people on the computer. This is cool. I'm
Ooh,
liking this.
that is cool. So you are, like, watching on the desktop and then
I'm on my phone, but I have it on my desktop as well.
oh,
So I'm
okay.
streaming the desktop and I'm able to chat. Let me see. I see Angela is here. What's going on, Angela? How are
Oh,
you doing?
oh, I wanna stream it, that's fun.
Yeah, this is I
Okay.
like it. This is what I would hope IG Live would kind of be like. But I think, I don't know what's on your screen. I see the time at the top. It says live and it's a countdown. It says the amount of people. I'm assuming that's the people that's in the live. And it got a thumbs up. I'm still learning this. This is all like brand new to me. But this is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
This is my first time ever, okay? So you're ahead of me.
By
Okay.
one. By one. I've only done one other one.
Well,
But
exciting.
yes, well, I don't know how many people are going to join us today. We'll figure it out. We'll see. From my understanding, the way this works is when we go live on mobile, people can find us in Shorts shelf, where you guys are just scrolling on Shorts and you might come across us. So let's just do a quick introduction for them, Megan. We don't know who's here coming from Instagram or brand new from YouTube. So if you could take a moment to introduce yourself and I'll follow up.
Awesome. All right. Well, my name is Meg from Social Media with Meg, and I help content creators, small businesses, entrepreneurs, influencers grow their Instagram and their social media presence so they can monetize their content and make connections and network to make social media fun again.
Absolutely. And I am Heston from Social Varsity, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram. My goal is to help you work smarter, not harder, and that's by using DM automation and chatbots. That was one of our topics that we spoke about earlier today. If you guys are familiar with ManyChat and the fiasco that Instagram caused just on Friday, I was caught up in the middle of it because that's what I do as my 9 to 5. So that is what I like to do. But when I am not building chatbots, I am always on IG Live. I like to consider myself the self-proclaimed king of IG Live, but we are testing YouTube Live today. For those that are
Mhm.
joining us, I know it's a small crowd so far. We're working up. This is the first time I'm doing a live for somebody, and this is Megan's very first YouTube Live. So,
Crazy.
we're new to the landscape, but we're
We
learning.
are. We are, but it's interesting to see. I wonder how it looks on like other people's screen. When they are scrolling, do they
Yeah.
see just
You know
yours?
what? That's
It's
a good question. I'm gonna pull out my secondary phone, and I'll see if I can load that up. I'm gonna have like the computer streaming, the phone
Boy.
streaming. Angela's here, our moderator. For those that
Yay.
don't know, Angela is our moderator when we do our weekly IG Live on Mondays. Angela, if you can, you know what I'm going to ask you to do, right? If you could take a couple screenshots so that myself and Megan can kind of see, get an idea of how it looks. We'll share it afterwards. But we would really appreciate that. I'm going to try to see if I can load up my phone and even see it on my phone. Probably go through the short self. But as we are here just testing out YouTube Live, and I got to get used to saying YouTube instead of Instagram. So please bear with me. We will
Yes.
be taking your guys' questions. If you guys have any questions, we will be taking that. We have a couple questions that's already lined up that we usually get from our IG Live. We get so much of a wide audience that shares questions that we've been able to stack up a library of questions that we meant to get to. And Megan was like, you know what? How about we answer some of those questions on YouTube? And I'm like, that's such a brilliant idea. So I have them here on my screen. Don't mind me looking to my right, or it looks like my left on the screen. I have 5 questions highlighted that I'm gonna read out and we'll answer them. For those that are joining us at any point in time, you could jump into the comments and say what's up, say hi, leave your own questions if you like. As I send or as we answer one of these questions, I'll even put up a poll on the screen. I did it on my first YouTube live, which is pretty cool because people can interact during the live. I don't know if I could do it with two people on the screen, but we're gonna try
Cool.
it.
Okay.
So let's go to the first question, Megan. Let's get it going. The first question comes from We Are Remarkable. I love that name. Which
That's good.
hashtags is effective? Or I guess they're referring to how many? Three hashtags, 10 hashtags, or 30 hashtags? Now we're talking about on Instagram. So I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Okay, so how many are effective? There's not one answer to that, and unfortunately, Instagram's never really come out and said only do X amount. They allow you to have 30, so you have people who say, "Hey, if they allow you, definitely do that." Recently, Instagram has actually come out and said though that when you're using them to make sure that you are using specific ones, using ones that are niched around the content topics, and using ones that are very specific about that post in particular. So, not just about all the things you talk about, but say you're sharing a piece of content about a Canva tip, but you usually share information about Instagram, share hashtag Canva tips and tricks, something
Yeah.
like that. So, personally, the way I teach it to my students is to make sure that you're not overdoing it, right? We're not confusing Instagram with all the things it could be about. I'd rather you do five that are very specific so that Instagram can categorize what this post is about versus could be everything. Let's just not show it to anyone. Make sure that
Yeah.
Instagram knows what it is so they show it. So my answer would be less is more. I personally don't ever do more than 10 just because you don't need to. Like
Yeah.
it's going to categorize it if it fits within one of those hashtags. If it starts to rank, it's going to rank.
Yeah, I think that's a great practice. And you said exactly what I was going to say. Less is more. And I try to apply that to almost everything that I do in regards to social media because if we go the opposite way, it's like there's no limit. You can say, okay, maybe it's 10 now, but okay, maybe there should be 20 because I could do more. I think when you fine tune your routine and you're able to do less, and I think it works better for what Instagram has been stating, you're able to kind of filter into those buckets in the hashtag and actually find one that hopefully you actually start trending on and you rank pretty high on it. But I think a less and more approach is much better than trying to do 30 just because what you end up doing is, you create a list of like 1 to 30 and you're just filling it in, trying to fill out how many ever you can. And we all know you get to a few of those that don't really apply to or relate specifically to that post. It's just
Right.
so generic in a way. So it's like, it might work, it might not, but I'm like, you know what? Go with less is more strategy. It doesn't hurt. And you don't have to stick to just three for every post. It could be five. It might be seven, depending on how many you could come up with at that point in time based on the content. But yeah, I think less is more as you stated.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, yeah, there's no right or wrong answer, but I would say I hear more people saying something similar to what we've been saying.
Yeah. What I practice, I don't know if you do this. I do different for reels and carousels. I put more hashtags on my carousels,
Mm,
generally like 12 to 15. If it's 30, it means like I really got a lot of great content from the caption and from
mm,
what's the text in the carousel. Like I'll find keywords and utilize them as hashtags.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
reels is like five. I think I generally stick to like five hashtags. How about you?
I don't necessarily do a difference. I think that I do find more naturally with carousels because there's so much information in it, like you said,
Mm,
but I don't necessarily do more on one than the other. I've tested none to see how that performs in comparison.
really?
And I've heard people who test it and they're like, oh my gosh, it was insane, so much better. I've heard opposite. To be honest, we don't know. And you've got to just test it out to figure out what works on your account with your content. And
Yeah.
there's so many factors that go into improving your reach. Like, we can't put all of our eggs in the hashtag basket.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. What might work for one person might not work for the other. So let's go to our second question. That was from We Are Remarkable. that question was taken during our IG live, as are most of our questions that we're going to be going through today. But if you guys have questions, as I put in the comments there, please share them in the comments and we will try to find them. I think it'll be pretty easy compared to our IG lives. Just in the comments for now are going slow, but that doesn't mean that you can't put in your questions. If you have questions, go ahead and post them there. The second question that I have is coming from Selling Socials UK. With the change in algorithm, do you think stories will reach more non-followers too? Now, what she is referring to, the change in algorithm, is what Adam Mosseri had came out and announced that they're now going to be more benefiting the smaller creators. Like they didn't give a number, but I think it's fair to say like maybe 10,000 followers and under. I haven't seen anything that came out that fought that claim, but let's just say it's 10,000 followers and under. They're now focusing a priority on getting those content creators to reach more people via the algorithm. So she wants to know, will that change in the algorithm affect IG stories to reach more non-followers? I think I have an interesting, how should I put it, experience lately with this, but I want to hear what you think about this one first, Meagan.
Boy, I'm interested to hear what you have experienced. But I don't know if it's going to be like a dramatic increase. Sometimes I'm surprised when I do go into my story insights and I see like followers versus non-followers, like very interesting. But like it hasn't been announced that we're going to have our stories shown to any non-followers, because right now it doesn't get shown to non-followers specifically. The fact that your content is going to be shown to more non-followers, they might come over and see your story. So yes, I think there's a better chance, but I don't think you're going to necessarily have your story specifically shown to people.
Yep, I would say the same thing. I think the way that they built IG stories, it's more for that audience that you've already acquired, and it's more like a VIP. Those are the ones that are really checking it out all the time. I like to send you very close individuals. They're the ones that generally go in and check out your IG stories whenever you pop up. That's what I would have said.
Ooh, but
I've seen numbers that are proving me wrong. I've had an IG story, I think it was last week, that came out, 2 IG stories that I posted, and they had significantly more non-followers see it than followers. Like, I want to say it was almost 60 to 40%.
Ooh. I haven't checked my stats for the last week. I gotta check.
I was very surprised when I saw this. And the weird thing is, like, both of these stories, they were on different days, but both of the stories followed another story. Yet that first story did not have that same amount. It was more followers than non-followers, which is what I expect. But for whatever reason, that second one on both days had significantly higher non-followers. And it wasn't just like, maybe every now and again I might get like 5% non-followers. This one was like 60 to 40.
Interesting. And was it a specific topic that you would think people would be sharing to non-followers?
I wish I would remember. I'm gonna have to look it back up again. I'll try to look it back up. Maybe I'll even share it on our broadcast channel. For those that are watching, myself and Meagan have a broadcast channel on Instagram, so check that out if you're interested. But Angela said, "Same. My numbers are higher." Thanks, Angela, for that insight. And that is now making me lead to believe that something is going on Instagram.
Okay,
Our
I
IG
need to
stories.
check this out.
Yeah, if you check that out and you notice, let's just say go back maybe a week and look to see if you see any stories that have a significant increase in non-followers viewing it. It's leading me to believe that something is going on Instagram.
That is so interesting. I feel like I want to know right now.
But yeah, so that's something that's interesting to look into. We'll definitely keep that in mind. Maybe we'll follow up with an IG live topic in regards to IG stories. It's been a while, I think, since we did IG stories, so it might be about time for that.
Sure.
Hey, by the way, if you guys want, to offer topics and ideas in regards to what myself and Meagan are talking about on our IG Live, which is weekly at 12 p.m. on Mondays, please feel free, go ahead and share it in the comments. We would love to know more about what you want to hear from us, because we are always conversating in regards to what we think you guys might want to hear, but go ahead and share with us what you guys want to hear. It'll help lead and influence the conversations that we have and help get specific guests that specialize in those fields, whether it's IG stories, creating reels, and so much more. We've had a lot of incredible guests just this year alone, Megan. It's been a lot.
It's
Um,
been awesome.
yeah, and we got a lot more planned. So I hope that you guys are following both of us on Instagram. If not, I believe I put the link in the description of this YouTube live. I'm still getting used to this whole thing, but if not, just go ahead and follow us on Instagram. And like I said, we do a weekly IG live on every Monday at 12 p.m.
Yes. That is so cool, by the way, because I haven't even really, I mean, I've watched YouTube lives before, but
Hmm.
it's always like on mobile because now I'm watching it on desktop too. I've never really known how thorough this description can be for YouTube Live. This is
I didn't know. I completely missed the game last week when I tested it. So my description was so blank, and I was like, "Wait, it got uploaded after we finished this. It gets uploaded." I was like, "Okay, I gotta come ready now with my description. I gotta make sure it's set and ready." So that's why what you see now was like me learning better.
that's awesome. Well, good job. That's great. That's what, we all need to accept. Every time that we are on different platforms, we're all learning at different rates and we all have different things that we like. I learn new things about Instagram all of the time. And
Yeah,
I've been an Instagram coach for 6 years. Like it's ever evolving.
I think that's part of the fun of it too. You're always learning. It doesn't get boring. That's for sure. It's
Oh,
never boring. Today on IG Live was a perfect example of a non-boring day. For
yes.
those that tune in with us, we got cut off on that IG Live three times, maybe. Technical glitches,
That was
like
fun.
everything you can name happened on that IG Live. If we were considering switching to YouTube, YouTube right now is making a strong stand. So
hmm
I don't know. Let's go to this
We
third
need to make a
question.
pros and cons list.
I like that idea. I do like that idea. I'm considering that too. Our third question from our subscribers or viewers on our IG Live. This one is from it's Lauren Benesaic. I apologize if I said your name wrong, Lauren, but you did ask when will the change be implemented, and they are speaking in regards to that same topic of when the algorithm change will take effect. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Adam Mosseri gave a date. He just said over the next coming months, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like when it got announced, there was so many people saying, "Yes, I'm already seeing it," and I don't actually think it
Really?
was rolled out. I just think that people might be checking their analytics now, but I don't know, because he didn't say it was rolled out. He said it's coming in the next months. So,
Yeah. I don't think that they would roll that out so quickly neither. I think it's something that they gotta roll out very slow. We know Instagram rolls out features slow. There's people
oh,
still in certain parts of the world that that don't have features that we have had for the last year or two. I know
exactly.
a few of them personally. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna be seeing this over a short time span. It's going to be over the next few months. I
Right.
would say maybe everybody might have it probably around this time next year because it's a big change. This is a very big change. Even if you're not one of those accounts that will be affected directly because maybe you have a large following, in some way you will be affected because maybe the majority of your following are under 10K or less. So you're going to be affected in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that when it does take effect, it's not something you're going to like notice dramatically. It's not
Yeah.
like a new button on your feed or something. It's just going to slowly, it gets categorized different. It's not about like the options of how you post or what you do. It's literally about the categorization. So, keeping consistent with your topics and your keywords and your hashtags, that type of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. For those that are watching the replay of this right now, I got to remember sometimes we are going to be having this posted as a replay. So if you are watching this as a replay, go ahead, go in the comments and share a topic that you guys might be interested in hearing from myself and Megan. And we invite two guests onto our weekly IG live. Go ahead in the comments because when this is posted, I'm going to go back in the comments. I'll be replying to you guys as well, and hopefully getting a few ideas. Maybe I'll even shout you out and say this idea came from so and so on our YouTube live on Monday on June 3rd. So go
Fantastic.
ahead and share those comments. I'm telling you, this is like a whole brand new world. I'm loving it. And I don't know about you, Megan. The video quality is It's crisp.
It is
It's
so much nicer.
Yeah, this is like really. I feel spoiled right now on YouTube Live compared to Instagram Live. I'm telling you.
Insane.
All right, so our second to last question. This one comes from Kiss Mommy. Is it possible to grow without using Reels? We're talking about on Instagram, the short form video format that everybody is currently in love with. If I'm not mistaken, the longest reel is a minute and 30 seconds, I believe.
I think you are right as of now. I know they're talking about
Yeah.
doing 3 minutes. They're talking about 10 minutes, just
Oh
like
my goodness.
TikTok, but I don't know.
I heard TikTok the other day is doing 60 minutes.
That's insane. Like,
Yeah. I
well,
mean,
just
it
like
works for YouTube.
IGTV.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
didn't work for the IGTV.
No, no, it
That did
didn't.
not
But
work. So,
hey, Instagram has to learn the hard way sometimes. They need to let someone else do it first so they can then take it.
yeah, they're good at that. That's their thing. Let them
Yeah.
go first and then they steal it.
Hmm.
But in regards to Reels on Instagram, is that the only way to grow? Because that's what everybody's claiming, right?
Right, right. Yes. And I mean, absolutely not. Totally not. Totally not. Totally not. However, it is important to note that in general, it doesn't even matter about social media, just consumption in general, people like to consume video. People
Mhm.
like video. So, yes, it is important. Yes, it can help. Yes, I do believe it should be a part of everybody's strategy, but it is not necessary. You can grow without them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different formats on Instagram, which is, I think, one of its secret sources of the social media platforms. Like when you think short form video, most people generally think TikTok. When you think long form video, most people think YouTube. But I think when you think of almost everything else, whether it's photos, carousels, even if you are thinking alternatives to those other premier formats of short form and long form, Instagram has found a way to be right there in the middle and be a middleman for everybody. If you don't like video, hey, there's carousels and photos. If you don't like carousels and photos, hey, there's DMs and broadcast channels. Like there's so many different options for you as a content creator or entrepreneur to get involved in. And all of them are going to help you grow. It just depends on the way that you use it. Reels, I think, is more specifically built to reach a new audience, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if you create a carousel, it's not going to reach a new audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of your carousels, Megan, have been really great at reaching new audiences. You've been able to get onto explore page, and that just it takes it off to a whole nother level.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's evidence there that you can grow without Instagram Reels.
Something real quick before we move on to the next, because you bring
Sure.
that up, that I think is really important is to understand the type of people you reach with each and the quality of their interest in you is definitely different. So, the people who are finding me through my carousels and my single image like infographics, I find that those people usually have a quicker connection with me because they took
Ooh.
time, longer amounts of time to consume the content. They actually cared to really stick like a reel is like in and out, you know? And even though I am on video and it's face to camera, unless it's a longer talking one with a lot
Yeah.
of teaching, um, I feel like it's easier to forget somebody from a reel versus that carousel that has so much information, like a mini masterclass, right? They remember
Yeah.
how much value you gave them.
I completely agree, and that's my problem with TikTok. We've seen it in the numbers. Content creators and entrepreneurs, they're not succeeding like they should compared to on Instagram and YouTube, especially where on TikTok it's designed pretty much to just you scroll, you enjoy, you scroll, you like. You don't,
Yeah.
from my understanding, because I'm not active on TikTok, but when I was, if I was on there for 10 minutes, I couldn't tell you the name of the last three people that I scrolled and even enjoyed or liked their content. Whereas what you're describing, when you're with a carousel, you're taking time to like really read and, in depth yourself with what the person has delivered there to learn or enjoy, depending on how they put it. With
Mhm.
YouTube, it's long form video. There's so many people that when you watch them on long form video, you feel like you know them. You're in their house, you're traveling with them overseas. So if you ever see them in public, it might be a weird experience to them because you know them by name, you know where their dog name is, you know where they live.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't know anything about you, but there's that weird relationship. You don't get that with short form videos in regards to TikTok and IG Reels. So I think what you're saying is perfectly and spot on.
Yeah, definitely. Good point.
I know we got a couple people in here. I want to know from you guys that are watching, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, do you enjoy short form videos, whether it's shorts, whether it's TikToks or Instagram Reels? Go ahead and put in the comments if you actually enjoy those compared to like the longer form of content, whether it's a blog, a carousel, or even a long form video like on YouTube. I want to know in the comments, share your thoughts and opinions as we go to our last question here. This one is from Pillow Fight, but the G is a 9. It's really smooth. I like that. What is more important, quality content or consistency? That is a good
Great
question.
question.
I thought they were going to say quality or what's the other one? Quantity.
Quantity.
But it went with consistency, which there is a difference. There's
Yeah.
definitely a difference. Do you want to take this one first?
Um, I feel like I've been going first every time. You go right ahead. I have an opinion,
Well,
but
all right, all right. I will say between quality content or consistency. Um, I don't. First off, there's no right or wrong answer. I think it really depends on the person. So I'm going to judge it based on my preference. I think I'm going to go with consistency because if I move forward with consistency, the way that I am, I like to learn. It's pretty much what I'm doing right now. This is day one of a YouTube daily IG live challenge. And this is my second time going on live, and I've already learned quite a bit. I've just learned that I cannot do polls when I have somebody else on the screen with me. But if I'm just by myself, I can do a poll. So I'm learning as I go, and that consistency that I'm going to have in the next 30 days is going to be a real like masterclass in regards to learning YouTube and going live and things like that, and how to interact with the audience on formats that are streaming live but get reposted right after. So I think consistency is key, and if you use it right, it can create quality content.
yes, 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 yes. I know we've talked about quality versus quantity before. Had a whole live on that, and so that's actually where I was going to. Is like I personally believe that quantity breeds quality. So in order to get there, you have to be consistent. You have to show up. So personally, my answer would be consistency is more important. As long as you are taking that time to sit back and learn
Yes.
from everything that you do, right? So, while I've been on this journey over the last few months of thinking how to really start back up on my YouTube and really jump all in on my strategy here, a lot of the times I hear over and over is in order to get better, a good goal is every single video you think, what can I do one thing better, and that might be the edit, it might be the thumbnail, it might be the way you show up, the audio, like title. I mean, there's so many different parts, but just one thing every time, and then it builds, compounds.
Yes. Yep, the compound inches. I've heard that before, and they usually describe it as get 1% better with every video that you release. Because compared to like TikTok and YouTube, creating content on on YouTube, particularly video, VOD, as they call it, video on demand, the long form, it's not easy. That's not something you could simply do in, even in just an hour. It takes a while. The videos that me and you do on Instagram Live and then we convert to YouTube, I work on that maybe 2 to 3 hours a day between Monday and Friday, and it gets a bit much. But I think it's really important when you realize the differences and how much effort is necessary in regards to each format. And yeah, at the end of the day, as long as you are that individual that knows how to learn from your mistakes and when you succeed,
Hmm.
um, move forward and improve. Even when you succeed, there's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah,
There's always progress. So just move forward and improve. I think that's how I like to do it. I hope to do that during this challenge because if I feel like I am at the end of my challenge after 30 days that I'm basically at square one, then what did I really learn?
right.
It's a waste of time, a waste of your time as a watcher. So, yeah,
Yeah,
Let's go
which
with
is a
that.
really good point right there. The last thing you said, the waste of your time as the watcher, as the viewer, as the consumer. People who do really good on any platform, it's because they are aware of the time
Mhm.
that their community takes to consume their content. It
Yeah,
takes time is so valuable, right? It's important to respect that. And when the consumer feels like, ah, that was worth it, they get so much, they want to give so much back to that creator.
yeah. Yep, I absolutely see it the same exact way. We're pretty much at the end of our questions. We got a lot more questions, but maybe we'll save them for the rest of the next few weeks.
I think you have a good question in the comments. Do you see that with Angela?
Oh, yes, Angela. Shout out to Angela. We love Angela, IG Live. Angela, check her out on Instagram, by the way. That is our moderator for our weekly IG Live series.
Best.
Angela asked, can you use automation like ManyChat on YouTube? Maybe I answered that before. I did not answer that before. Yes and no. Yes and no. With ManyChat, there is a feature called ref URL. So what it does is like you take any of the animations, I'm sorry, automations that you do on Instagram, you use this feature instead of maybe the keyword feature or comment keyword. This feature creates a URL. And when you tap the URL, no matter where you place it, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, well, I don't know if you can put URLs on TikTok. I might be wrong about that. I don't know. I'm a TikTok newbie. Um, but if you put it on Threads, perhaps I've done this on Threads a few times. When a person taps that link, it opens up Instagram and goes directly to the DMs. Like you don't even have to do anything at this point. It opens up Instagram, opens up directly to the DMs. Now, two things occur. If that person is following you, the automation that you planned continues. So let's say you were sending that person a link if they, clicked on the URL, which at that point, because it doesn't make sense to do that because you could just give them the URL. But
Right.
maybe there's an email workflow or something that you wanted to do. It would automatically start that automation in the DMs. No problem. If that
That's
person does not follow you, it stops them at pretty much a point called it's almost like they're at the lobby of the DM, where when you set it up, you have conversation starters. So you have buttons,
okay.
and maybe one of those buttons leads to that automation. It might lead to other things. The only reason why they do that is because that is what's seen by anybody who is not a follower of yours who opens up the DM for the first time. That's a default that Facebook has not Facebook but Instagram has set for ManyChat to abide by. So if they're not following you, they would get stopped at the lobby, but you could prompt them with conversation starters. And if they are following you, the DM automation works as if they were already on Instagram. It takes them there.
Hmm.
It's beautiful. I've done that. I wonder. Let me see something. Do I have it active on our description right now? Um, I don't think I have the link. Yes, I do. It's actually on this IG Live right now.
Ah.
In the description, there is a line that says, "Feel free to slide in my DMs here."
Oh,
And when you
cool.
click that, it is actually going to open up your Instagram. And depending on if you are following me or not, the next set of automations will occur. So yes, it does work, but because it's DMs that lives on Instagram, it'll open up that app.
Very cool. So if they don't have Instagram though, or maybe they're not logged into Instagram, then that wouldn't flow so well.
I don't. Yes, I don't. I've never came across that scenario. It's very hard to try that because like
Right.
everybody has Instagram.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
I've
would
used this link in my email footer. And Threads. Threads is a really nice place to use it because it's that
they're linked.
beautiful link together. So it doesn't.
Yeah. I would
I haven't used it a lot though.
I'd say though how you said like feel free to slide into my DMs. If you were doing this not just like an open DM conversation, but you were to say like get your free guide here by hitting me up in the DMs, and like they know Instagram, okay, gotta be there.
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
is smart to say it that way. You
Yeah.
crushing it.
So there you go. I hope that answers your question, Angela. Angela, if you want me to show you how to do that, or anybody else, please feel free to slide in the DMs. Well, that's all the questions that we have today. This was a short session, and I think I'm going to do all of my sessions like this short, Megan.
Mm.
30 minutes, I think, seems to be key. I'm going to do this every day at 3 p.m., except for Fridays. And I don't do anything on Sundays, social media wise. So I'll be doing it pretty much every day, except for Fridays and Sundays, for the next month. This is just day one. And I think it's a successful one.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Welcome,
This is
your first
fun.
time on YouTube Live. What did you think?
I love it. I mean, I love lives anyways, and I love just any type of discussion. Every time that, even when we're just having our weekly meetings
Yeah.
about our IG live, like discussions are just great. I love the setup. I will say the one thing I'm noticing that I'm a little bit let down on is I don't get to see like the names of people popping in. Do you get to see that?
I don't think. No, we don't. You're right. They
Which
don't have that. I
kind
wonder.
of makes sense because I feel like there's a lot more people on YouTube that use it just to consume. But
Yeah, I guess I never thought about that, but that is interesting. Because when you're on IG Live, that number is always going up and down. But you kind of see,
everyone come
this
in.
person is entered, this person is entered. They won't tell you when they leave, but they tell
Right.
you this person. You can kind of gauge how many people's coming in, the frequency. But you're absolutely right. I wonder if they'll ever update. The thing about YouTube though, they have plenty of updates, and they
Right.
have smart
Smooth.
updates. Yeah.
Yeah. Smooth, smart.
Angela stated, I think if there's a chat open, so maybe if this was done on desktop, there might be a difference between desktop live
Oh,
and mobile live, perhaps.
that's true.
I think
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
definitely.
Well, this was fun. This was definitely yes, we can see you, Angela.
Yes, I feel like anytime that somebody comments, which I wish that, hey, YouTube, if you're listening, because I'm an expert, obviously, I know what I'm doing here. One, I'd be cool is if somebody tapped in to watch it, and instead of sometimes it's hard because you're busy to like say anything, or maybe you are shy, you don't want to. If there is like, in order for you to enter, you just have to hit a little hand, like to wave. Like that would be cool. Then you would be notified, and that would be
Oh,
an
I
interesting
see.
way.
Yeah. I actually just on my secondary phone, I put it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like this
okay.
live. I like it. They
It
got a
is
lot of
cool.
points over IG Live. I will say that.
Yep, I know.
Anyways, I won't keep you for too much longer, but this is our second live that we did today. Maybe we'll do another one on Monday. This might be a regular thing. Well, we don't know. We're
Oh,
testing.
yeah, that would
But
be
thank you
awesome.
guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Megan, you can catch her on Instagram, social media with Meg. Look out for her. We always do our IG live session together also on Mondays at 12 p.m. But you should check out her Instagram page. I believe I have it in the I think I have it in the links. If not, I will add it. That's the other beauty. I could always add it and it'll be there. So,
That's what.
guys, go ahead and check out her IG page and look out for mine if you aren't following as well. I'll be doing this YouTube live every day, 3 p.m. See you tomorrow on Tuesday, June 4th. All right.
Awesome. Thank
Later,
you.
Megan. You
Bye.
have a good one.
You too.
Bye.